Hey, frequent flyers, good morning. It is a brisk 26 degrees and I'm about to get the COVID shot. Actually, I already got it. This video was made prior to getting it. Wasn't able to upload it until now. I actually will be getting the second dose in 4 days. I wanted to share with you today the 5 reasons why I am getting this shot. Before we jump into that, I want to go through real quick. Let's do a rapid fire history of COVID-19 and the development of the vaccine itself. A quick knowledge drop about how the phases of development of medicine or vaccines work. Phase 1 is basically the heavy, intense research phase. This is when all the do's are doing all their super brainiac power research and investigation. This is when they answer the question, how will the vaccine work? They identify the infective source. They try to identify what different methods they could implement within that vaccine to trigger a response in the body to develop immunity. That's phase 1. Phase 2 is when they start to try to answer the question, is it safe? They begin to take this newly developed vaccine and they test it on a very small population. By the end of March, the question of is it safe was answered. By the beginning of July, these companies entered phase 3. Which was when you answer the question, is it effective? And this includes implementing this vaccine to thousands upon thousands of individuals because you have to get all the data points that you can receive. Fast forward to November of 2020, that question was answered. It was extremely, incredibly, and historically effective. On December 11, 2020, phase 4 was completed, and that was the approval. On December 11, 2020, the Federal Drug Administration of the United States of America enacted the Emergency Use Authorization, which allowed the vaccine to be distributed, and that brings us here, 26 degrees in my garage, Friday morning, and we have entered into phase 5, and that is it gonna be safe long term? So this morning at 11 a.m., I will be getting the vaccine in my deltoid. I haven't decided which one, but it's going to happen. Probably going to exercise, get them pumped up so they can actually see it and find it as a landmark. I'll be honest, about 2 weeks ago, I had a conversation with my wife and she asked me, so what about this COVID? And my knee-jerk response, my 15 years of medical blah, blah, education caused this response that I just verbally vomited. Absolutely, I'm getting it without thinking. And then she, well, why? Why are we doing this? And she's very cautious and methodical, and she needs to think, which is amazing. And I usually just jump, which gets me in trouble. But what that did is it allowed me to basically internally reflect, why do I want to get this? Do I really need to get this? What are the pros and cons and benefits of this? And ultimately, it came down to this. And these are my 5 reasons that I'm going to get the vaccine today. Number 1, it is safe and effective. Biggest problem, is it going to kill me? Up to this point, at this recording, there has not been a recorded death or major issue from receiving the vaccine from thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousand recorded cases. 2 days ago, there was a case of anaphylaxis where the individual was effectively treated with epinephrine in the emergency room. That is when you have an allergic reaction to some component within the medicine that received, and the person is doing fine. But for the vast majority of all participants, the most major side effect that has been reported is fatigue and headache. And yeah, nobody wants fatigue and nobody wants headache, but it comes with a 95% effectiveness against being infected by the coronavirus. That is a freaking amazing trade-off in my book. And I've heard a lot of patients and family members and friends voice the concern, and this is one of the limitations that we don't have the information yet, is we do not know if it is safe and effective long-term. They anticipate at least 6 months to 2 years of effectiveness against coronavirus, but we don't know that yet, okay? We also don't know the long-term ramifications. And that is that stage 5. That is the continual monitoring of what this could cause in the future. I believe that the appropriate steps have been met. I believe that if this was dangerous and ineffective in any shape or form, that the appropriate individuals, researchers, and governing bodies would put a halt at it, because it has done that to other medications and vaccines numerous times. Number 2 reason why I am getting the vaccine today. It is because it is historic. The type of vaccine that this is has never been produced at this level and approved with this effectiveness ever in the history of man. This vaccine works as an mRNA vaccine, okay? It is phenomenal. Okay, so let's do a little sidebar, okay? An mRNA vaccine is a specific coded sequence, okay, that is then inserted into this little lipid nanoparticle, basically a fat little halo frisbee ball, if you will, that is then injected into your myocytes, your muscular cells. Usually it's been the site of choice, it's been your deltoid or your shoulder muscle, okay? At that point, okay, those cells identify that, and what are called your ribosomes, these little Rosetta Stone molecules, they read that messenger RNA and they code for a protein which is found on the coronavirus. It's called the spike protein. That spike protein is then implemented into those cells. They are identified by the body as foreign, and an immunological response is developed, okay? And then anytime the exposure to that coronavirus, the Justice League of immunizations comes and kicks its trash to the degree of 95% effectiveness. So it works, it is safe, and it is historic. And I want to be part of that because of my position. In medical school, when I graduated, I took the Hippocratic Oath to protect and to provide the best safe medical care for my individuals and my patients. And I feel some sort of responsibility to be able to provide personal information and personal experience about this vaccine. I want to be able to share what side effects I had. I want to be able to be part of that continual front line because I have a family, I have loved ones, and I have patients that I want to take care of. So it is historic, and I want to be part of that force. I want to be part of the data point that offers more information, that if this is unsafe, we will know about it. If it provides... Number 3 reason why I'm getting the vaccine today, bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for bronchitis. All right, I am of probably one of the lower risk groups of getting severe COVID infection, okay? I am 36 years old. I have no medical histories. I have no medications I take on a daily basis. I have no lung or heart disease scarring. I was not premature birth. I had plenty of surfactant. I have no scarring or significant chemical exposure to my lungs. In general, if I was infected, which I probably was, I swim in it at work in the emergency room, I was asymptomatic or very mild, if at best, even knowing about it. But one thing we do know about this COVID vaccine is that the amount of time and level of exposure of COVID is directly correlated with the severity of the disease if you do develop it by being infected by COVID-19. And I don't got time for that, right? I want to use my sick days for playing out in the sun, not for lying in bed crumpled up. You remember that as a kid? I used to always get sick on the sunniest days, or I used to always get the most ill when there was a holiday or a weekend off. And I don't want that. And I believe that this is effective. I believe it is safe. And if I can have that degree of protection so that I can protect my family, what it breaks down to is, I also, jokes aside, I want to protect my family. I am exposed to COVID on a shift basis, sometimes every minute, because I have to go in and out, in and out, in and out patients that are COVID positive, or unknown positive patients that have symptoms of COVID-19. Okay? I then take a shower and completely change all my clothes at work. I drive home. Then before any hugs, kisses, welcomes, I then disrobed and I shower and clean myself again, then get into clean clothes before welcoming my family and giving them hugs. If I can eliminate some of that worry, I'll still do all those processes and maintain social distancing, hand hygiene, face covering, because one of the things we don't know about this vaccine is its effect on transmissibility. I will still do those things, but to know that I am protected against the development of severe disease requiring hospitalization or significant time out from work, that is number 3 why I'm getting the vaccine. Number 4 reason why I'm getting the vaccine. This is a big one. Because I want to trust somebody. There are points in our life throughout us living where we have to step across that line. We have to trust somebody. There is a general sense throughout the world right now, I feel, of just not trusting people, of just being critical and being destructive to people. And yes, I think there's malicious people out there trying to take advantage of others. But I also feel that there are good, hardworking healthcare providers and scientists and regulators that want people not to die. And I have to trust somebody somewhere. And I think this is an excellent opportunity, given my risks and weighing those against my benefits, to trust somebody. So at 11 a.m. this morning, I will trust somebody. Number 5 reason why I'm getting this vaccine. Dag nabbit, I hate COVID. It has messed up so much for so many people, and I want it gone. And the only way we can do that is by mass vaccination. Okay, I'm not saying regulated or mandatory vaccination, but hopefully that we can gain enough information about the safety and efficacy of this that people will want to get it. And by us wanting and then ultimately getting it, we can be protected. Dr. Paul Ofrit, I hope I'm pronouncing that correct, one of the lead participants in the development and approval of this vaccine, offered some amazing insight on an interview conducted by ZDogg MD recently about how historically no vaccine has ever just gone away and self-eliminated. It doesn't happen. The only way we have overcome these infections with these viruses is by developing vaccines and by implementing them across the globe. That is how we've won. And right now, COVID is kicking our trash, and I'm tired of it. So I want to take that step forward, and I want to trust these people. I want it to be safe and effective. I want to keep my family protected. And for all those reasons, I'm giving the COVID vaccine today. Now, does this mean you have to? No, honestly, most people can't even get it yet. Okay, right now, they are implementing a very strategic distribution of that vaccine. I happen to be at a hospital and a location in a facility within a town whose death rate is high enough to receive the 3rd dose in the state of Illinois. So I feel very fortunate. But general access to this vaccine will still probably be a while. And that allows great time for you to weigh in on what you think, for you to assess the risks versus the benefits. And more information and more data will just continually come out. And so we'll all have more information. But in the meantime, I'm getting it. And I'm excited about it. And I'll share any bad things I have, and I'll be completely open and upfront. I personally did not have a single side effect from the first dose. Now, from the reports I've read, there are more often side effects associated with the 2nd dose. So I'll report that in the next video. But I hope you have a great one. And here's to kicking COVID's trash. Knuckles, noggin, butterfly kisses. Good fingers. Bye.